Hello everyone, Manithral here, and welcome to my first archaeology video. I'm going to be going over the tips and tricks of archaeology, as well as my first one right here, and it's to follow that little sprite. So, when you follow the sprite, obviously you get more, well, its percentage that'll help you get a higher precision will keep going up. So right now I'm at 68%, and if you keep following it, when it hits 100%, it'll drop, but you won't have to start from zero as if you were just sitting in one spot continuously. So that is the biggest thing. The next thing is the artifacts. Well, this is one of the biggest things, sorry. The next thing is artifacts and mysteries. So each artifact, for instance, I have the Incite Fear spell scroll open right now for inspection. And as you can see right here, it's pinned behind my camera a little bit. I'll pull it over here. You can see there's 3 different collections that it can go to. So that means you need a minimum of 3 of these scrolls in order to do this. Now I say minimum because sometimes, like the Pontifex ring, which is right here, has other uses outside of just the collections. So what you will want to do is you will make sure you have what you need there. For instance, this is a good example right here. To pass the Legatus barrier, I need to have a Legatus pendant fully repaired. So I have that currently equipped, which is allowing me to pass through that barrier, which allows me to continue further into archaeology. So you can see how these are actually very important. Not to mention, you're going to have to climb up the ranks as is. And to further point out that point, I want to take you guys back to the guild itself. Now, the reason why I'm taking you back to the guild itself is because this is primarily going to be your hub for basically doing everything. Personally, I do recommend getting soil and having maybe a porter active while you're doing it. Mostly because this will give you more materials to restore your artifacts, which is always a good thing with this, because you're going to need to be able to restore a second, a ton of artifacts. One of the biggest things is for the second title, other than when you first become intern, and then you go for your first title, which I believe is the associate. The following one, I believe, is the assistant. So in order to get the assistant, you have to restore 250 artifacts in order to even actually continue forth from that to get to the next level of archaeology. Not so much a level, but ranking, which in return helps boost up of what your research team can do, which your research team is actually very important. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. Also, I'll be showing you the results of doing a 24-hour research expedition rather than just, the bare minimums. Obviously, the biggest thing is the fact that there's more materials and, there's more XP involved. That's the biggest thing. So if you have the chronos to spare, I would definitely recommend it. Now, I'm not going to go through all the soil while I'm doing this because, well, let's not do all the chitty chatter. Alright, so in order to even restore certain things, actually, too, I should mention that you actually sometimes have to have external items, such as, for example, the Pontifex ring, where you actually have to have a cut dragonstone in order to actually do that. So I'm going to withdraw a cut dragonstone here. Now I take it over, I'm going to restore a Pontifex ring. Because I do have one, and I do need one actually, for my own use. Now this one, you can actually wear the Pontifex ring. Now I don't need to wear it right now because I still have to go back through the Legatus gate and get the stuff from there. But now we're going to head over to the research section, and I'll show you why this section is actually kind of important, especially when it comes to terms of materials and all that kind of jazz. So I'm going to manage it. Now, as you can see here, I sent them out for a 24-hour one. Well, it doesn't really say how long I sent them out for. But it's a 24-hour one. I believe I sent them out when I was like level 57, 58. I'm going to get about 12,000 Archaeology XP, a bunch of materials, and some damaged artifacts, which is a rare case, but it can happen. So, I can view the report, and then claim it. I sent them to the Everlight, but as you can see, they got a lot of Star of Ceridon, which is great. They got hardly any of the Silverlight, which is kind of disappointing. They didn't get really the materials I was kind of hoping for, but, you know, that's kind of how it comes sometimes. I'm just going to deposit it all, because that'll all go into the storage area. As a result, I did get a level up from that, as you guys heard. The biggest thing, though, is you kind of want to send people out with these ones, too, because, like, right here is the Dominion Torch, which is something I kind of need. These different things like this will actually, you know, reward you with certain types of items that you may or may not need down the road. But I cannot do any of those right now. So we're just going to go for regular dig sites, and it'll even show you at what level you're going for. Since I am finishing up in the Cared Et right now, for my current one, I'm going to send them over to the Infernal Source, which is going to be my next stop. Now, this is going to cost me almost 8,000 chronodes, but I'm going to get 14,000 Archaeology XP, and damaged artifacts, which is a possibility. Right now, I only have those 2 researchers, otherwise it would cost more. I could unlock these ones here, but I can only actually use 2 right now anyway, so I don't really see the point of it. So I'm going to send them out for the 24 hours because it gives you the most resources. And with it being an Iron Man account that I'm on, resources, this is pretty much the only way you can get a bunch of materials like that without gathering them yourself. Now I'm going to show you guys next why this is important. If you go over here to check qualifications, I'm not ready yet because I have to discover 250 artifacts, and I have 139 artifacts discovered. I have to reach level 70 Archaeology, which I will be hitting that before I reach the artifacts, especially restoring artifacts. Mysteries, I will be solving that pretty soon. Now, the reason why that's important is because, like right here, I needed 24 hours for research team. Now, I have 53 right now, but as you go to the next one, you need 72 hours, and then the final one, you need 168 hours. So that is why it's actually kind of important to go through and do those. But without trying to go a little too crazy with it, because, well, you're going to want to go here to the shop, and as you can see, the shops get exponentially more and more expensive. So what I'm going to be doing is it'll probably be maybe the last one I send out in this set, because I want to make sure I have enough for the outfit, I want to have enough for the soil box, material upgrade, the Maddock Precision, and the auto screener. I want to have all that ready, all those chronos ready before I hit that next set. This way I can just go through, wipe it all out. And that's what I'll be doing for each step of the way, is I will make sure I have all the chronos built up, and then I'll worry about all the different, researches that I can do. But that's actually about it for Archaeology, because the thing of it is a very simple skill. You just want to solve mysteries as you come across them. As you're doing a dig site, keep doing the dig site until you have all the required artifacts you need. Then move on to your next site if you have to move on to the next site or venture further. But keep digging at the particular spot until you get all the items you need. And if you end up needing more, you can easily come back to it and get more. For example, one of the mysteries to solve is, stuff like the statues in the Everlight. There's 4 different statues. Not only do you have to fix the statues by carrying 10 marble on you, that cannot be noted, you also have to give them their items that better represents them. And don't worry too much there, because if you just examine it after you fix the statue, it'll actually kind of tell you or hint at what you might need. So it's not too bad. But overall, that's all archaeology really is in a nutshell. I mean, there is a lot more to explore and understand and learn about as you're going through it. For example, the factor of the pylon and the carat et. That's something actually that's important to keep in mind when you're in carat et, because if it gets to 100%, you have a chance of getting the Inquisitor parts for the staff and stuff like that. So like all the rare item chances actually go up, whereas normally it's even more rare than what you might think. But that's actually it for this session. As I discover more, or if you guys have some helpful tips and tricks for archaeology, please post them down below. And if you guys have any questions about archaeology, please let me know. For example, if you want to know how to get certain relics, for instance, the Dorok's Might or whatever it is relic, I can tell you right now, you need the Lock of Hair, which comes from the collections. Like I said, collections are very important. But then you'll also need the Amulet of Forsaken, which comes from doing the Borrows. So, you know, there is different things that you have to keep in mind when doing all of this kind of stuff. And you will be revisiting a lot of dig sites, and hopefully we get more dig sites in the future. But that'll actually do it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below, and until next time, later guys.